Rolling with the triple C, I'ma make them bend the knee. Rolling with the triple C, don't really got the heat.
Guys, this video wouldn't be possible without our sponsor. That's right, Jimmy Bars. Get yo Jimmy on. That's right. Whenever you guys want to indulge, whenever you guys want a nice bar that's a meal replacement, a non-gluten-free bar, you guys make sure to go to jimmybars.com or go to your local Walmart and get yo Jimmy on. So let's talk about UFC 290, one of the hottest cards in UFC history with, I believe, the fastest knockouts. I think 4 of the fastest knockouts in UFC history, with some of the biggest upsets that you can think of, from Robert Whittaker to Alexandre Pantoja to, you know, anyhow, you guys saw the card. The card was fire, but let's get straight to it. Let's start off with the main event. Yair Rodriguez versus Alexander Volkanovski. Oof. I tell you what, guys, I got this prediction wrong, but knowing that possibly Yair could maybe potentially catch him. And when he was having success, it was through the kicks. And when he was having success, it's when he was staying in the center. You know, Volkanovski did just a really good job of covering distance, taking him down to eventually find those ground and pound. And that's pretty much all she wrote. What makes Alexander Volkanovski is extremely special is his tactical work. Is the fact that he can tactically fight everybody different, and you got to give kudos to that. You know, I thought there was a lot of things, a lot of areas where Yair Rodriguez could have made some adjustments. You know, number one is keeping it in the center. You know, keeping it in the center, not allowing Alexander Volkanovski to close that distance. You know, and then kicks, and then you know, Yair did catch some kicks, but he almost diversifies his kicks a little too much, where he's not really breaking the foundations. I think the biggest thing that Yair could probably take away from that shot is maybe he does need a kick, but maybe invest in something where you're able to break down the foundation, whether it's the body or going over that calf kick. And anyhow, there's nothing to say here, man. Volkanovski did his job. This is the reason why, you know, he is pound for pound. And you know, I'm excited to see what is it that's going to happen next with Volkanovski. I mean, there's a potential matchup with Ilia Topuria or Islam Makhachev. I personally, if I was Volkanovski, I would definitely go with Islam Makhachev. I think I just think Ilia Topuria needs another fight, man. I feel like the way Volkanovski is going to end up chewing his legs out, he's going to fight him different too. And he's gonna go ahead, instead of using his hands, he's gonna use his kicks against Ilia Topuria. And I just feel like Ilia Topuria might need one more good fight to kind of prepare him and get ready for a guy like Volkanovski. Because yeah, you could get a title shot, but if you have more time and a little more experience and another 5-rounder, Ilia, I would definitely take that. And I would think of another. Maybe it doesn't have to be. Maybe think of somebody who's probably short and that's just like Volkanovski, and I would even just take a fight like that just to prepare yourself for a man like that if you really want to be it. Because fighting for a title is one thing, being the pound for pound king right now is another. So that being said, I think if I was in Volkanovski's shoes, depending on how the surgery ends up going for him, I would fight Islam. I would go for that championship status. And I would, you know, I would go out there and challenge myself. You know, you have 6 title defenses now. You know, you're 2 away from beating Jose Aldo for the most title defenses in featherweight history. But you go up a weight class, you win the lightweight title, let's per se, or you challenge that. And maybe this time, you know, if you can't pull that off, I mean, that puts you in a different category. Because as of right now, just based off of numbers, Jose Aldo's still the best featherweight of all time, just based on numbers. Not saying the best ever featherweight, but through facts and through numbers, it's still Jose Aldo. Because we forget the special things that Jose Aldo and the wrestlers that he has been, from Chad Mendes to Frankie Edgar, and he beat both of those guys twice. Two Division I wrestlers, legit wrestlers, who he was able to beat, an All-American and Chad Mendes and a finalist. You know what I'm saying? And then obviously, you know, he's done some amazing things, but still numbers do not lie. So if I was Volk, there's 2 options. You have Ilia Topuria, or I like the better option for you. If I was in your position, I would definitely go for Islam Makhachev. And now, guys, for the co-main event, I know a lot of you guys think I'm a hater. I'm just a hater and a half. You know, you're not Mexican. You're a fake one, blah, blah, blah. Alexandre Pantoja, and I predicted this one to the team. I says Alexandre Pantoja has more grit, has more fight, and he only has one mode, and it's his style of just fighting. You know, I saw it in the first fight, I saw it in the second fight, and Pantoja doesn't really have strategy. He has a strength, which is called heart, and he's got a warrior spirit, and I think that's what makes him different. You know, I felt like he won 1, 3, 4, and 5. I don't get how a lot of these judges could give Brandon Moreno round 4 when round 4 and 5 were exactly the same. You know, it was a complete. He controlled it more. Yeah, Brandon Figueroa, and I said this. I nailed this prediction to a T. If you guys go back to tell the tape, you guys gonna see how is it that I predicted this fight. I predicted this fight because I've seen it and I've trained with both of them, and I know what both bring to the table. Brandon Moreno did maybe get the bigger shots, but I think overall, as a whole, as a fight, so when you individually, you know, count the fight by rounds, Pantoja clearly won. You know, in my opinion, 4 rounds out of the 5. You know, I gave Brandon round 2, and that was about it. We have to have the ability to be able to give credit where it's due, and that's in control. Controlling somebody is not easy. And if you cannot get out, that means you're controlling time. And I think that's somewhere where people really need to give credit to. You know, Pantoja won. It's exciting for him, but I think a little bit what scares me with Pantoja a bit is his style of fighting. You know, Pantoja's style of fighting, man, will a guy like that be able to last and be able to have 6 to 7 to 8 title defenses? You know, or is it short-lived? You know, can Pantoja become a little more technical defensively? You know, can he do a really good job with that? Because I go back and I watch that fight with Brandon, and it's the same thing in the first and second fight that they've had. He takes a lot of hit. He got hit by Brandon quite a bit. And a guy like Deiveson Figueiredo, when he fought him, Deiveson was able to really kind of have it was a good stylistically matchup for him because Deiveson focused on power, and Deiveson actually really did hurt him. And when you hurt somebody, you slowed him down. So you were able to see that in that fight whenever it is that Deiveson and Pantoja fought. But other than that, I thought, you know, I think he's fallen in love with his hands a little too much. You know, and he leans forward quite a bit. I'm surprised Pantoja didn't kick him enough. And I think the next time they fight, I just feel like Brandon has gone better, but he's also there was no wrestling from his part. There was nothing that he was able to do that Pantoja didn't have an answer for, or he didn't do enough wrestling. And there just wasn't enough. And that's what happens sometimes when you fall in love with something a little too much. You forget to mix. And when somebody's willing to fight you the whole time, then that's what it is. So again, not being a hater. If Brandon Moreno still wants to go at it, if he still wants to scrap, he called me out when I lost. I'm gonna call him out when you know, off of this loss too. If he wants to scrap, if he wants to get it, you know, Triple C is here. People don't like me. None of the Mexican fans like me, and it's okay. I can be the bad guy. We all know the truth. But if he wants to scrap, let's do it, man. Let's do it in front of all the Mexican people. You know, I will be the underdog. I will be the Mexican American that all these Mexicans will go against. But that's cool. I know how to defeat you. I've done it before in practice, and I'll be looking to do it again if we eventually do fight. So, you know, with all due respect, even on top of what I'm saying, with all due respect, if you want to get it, let's do it, Brandon Moreno. And now let's get to the co-main event. Dricus, God, I'm gonna mispronounce his name, but Plessis, guys. Woo! Talking about Plessis. First of all, I want to apologize to you, Plessis. I did not believe that you could beat Robert Whittaker, and I really didn't. And shame on me. You know, you have every reason in the book to to call me whatever it is that you want, Duplessis, because what you demonstrated against a guy like Robert Whittaker, because this is how high I'm on Robert Whittaker. I believe Robert Whittaker is the type of guy that has the ability to go up to 100 and 205 and actually win. And Duplessis, the fact that you're able to stop this dude in 2 rounds, and they didn't even go really 2 rounds, and a round and a half, kudos to you, man. Like, I wasn't a believer in what you were doing, but now the fact, the way that you did, the way that you took out the man, the Reaper, Robert Whittaker, it was amazing, man. It was absolutely a spectacular performance. I think your next title shot is against Israel Adesanya, and I think you need to have a good game plan. I think the biggest thing with Duplessis is he cannot stay in range kicking range with Israel Adesanya. He cannot stay in that range. And this is where Duplessis, if you're hearing me, if you're watching me, this is where every damn fighter, other than Kelvin, because Kelvin did get kicked, but Kelvin took that distance from him. He fought him, you know. But I would, if I was in your position, Duplessis, I would create positions to get Stylebender to throw hands, how he leans, and he's been getting away with murder, to be able to look for your takedowns. If you stay in kicking range and you get kicked a few times, this fight's gonna be perfect for Israel Adesanya. You know, the conditionings that I would do too is I would have somebody kick you every single day just to build that callus on your shins, on top of your knee, like on all that. So I do believe Israel's greatest weapon is his kicks. He's able to pick you apart. He's able to invest in that. He's able to invest in that until he brings forth the hands. You know, because eventually when he hurts you with the legs, you're forced to fight him. You're forced to fight him with your hands, and eventually you get compensated there. So Duplessis, an apology. I have so much more respect for you. When I feel like I'm 100% right on things, because there is times where you do make predictions according to styles, but when you truly believe that somebody is going to get murdered or get beat up, and then you're proven wrong, Duplessis, you are somebody that I respect, and I just won't doubt you again, man. I hope with Israel you come up with a good game plan, and we'll see, man. We'll see how good Duplessis, could become. You know, the man is undefeated. The man's style isn't probably the most gracious, but when somebody knows how to win, just like Pantoja, there's something to be said about that. So again, I'm excited, Duplessis. If you have a good game plan, you could beat Israel Adesanya. You know, you guys done it before. I mean, you've done it before in grappling. You felt him. You know what it's like, and that's all there is to it. Bo Nickal's just proven, guys. Bo Nickal's just proven to be that guy. Bo Nickal's getting better with the striking. You know, this is a second fight in the UFC that hasn't went past a round, but this time, instead of the submission, he was able to knock out his opponent. And the question is, though, congratulations, is he there? Yeah, but Bo Nickal continue to keep taking these fights, because I want to see you go past the first round. I want to see you go past the second, the third. You know, how good are you with these other guys who have a little more of that gas tank? You know, like I want to see your threshold tested, but not yet. You know, you still have a lot of these guys. Get as many a lot of UFC debuts that you can to be able to build that, because 185 pounds is full of killers, and we just saw Robert Whittaker lose to Duplessis. So again, guys, I think the future is bright for Bo Nickal. I think there's so much that could be done in his position to be able to kind of leap him for the title, but you do not want to. There's no shortcuts at 185 pounds. There just isn't, you know. Or stylistically, there are great matchups, but you want to be champion and remain champion for a very long time, because that's how you're going to make your money. Bo, I say you're about 2 years away from becoming champ, but take your time as of now. And if Israel's still the champ at 185 pounds, that's the guy that's the guy I believe right now stylistically that he can go in there and do work. But the key is to make the money, become champion, and continue to keep defending that belt, because that's where you really make it rain. Again, guys, UFC 290 was absolutely on fire. Congratulations to Alexandre Pantoja, the cannibal, my brother, for becoming the 5th flyweight champion in history. Congratulations to Alexander Volkanovski for proving his dominance and his tactical sense of what is it that he's actually doing, how is it that he's able to fight everybody different, bringing in the wrestling. You know, excited for what's to come for him, whether it's Ilya Taporia or if it's going to be Islam, which is the fight that I would like to see once again, October, Abu Dhabi. And you know, to me, the winner of the whole night, or maybe other than Pantoja, is Du Plessis. You know, Du Plessis, I doubted you. I apologize. I think you're a lot better than what I thought, and I think because of that victory, I respect you so much more. And I don't think just me. I think the rest of the world. And I wasn't the only one counting you. I think you were the biggest underdog in that whole fight card. But kudos and respect. And again, Du Plessis, congratulations, man. And to Bo Nickal, you know, the young buck. You know, the advice that I got for you: take your time, dude. Take your time. You know, take your time, because once you get to that top 10, it's gonna be real. So continue to keep rolling in that. Keep rolling in those debuters, and get some of those easier fights, so you're gonna still develop yourself, because you're 5-0 now. I went into the UFC 6-0, but when I went into the UFC at 6-0, I fought Dustin Kimura, who was 12-3, you know, upperweight division. So you're in a much better position. So anyhow, that's my breakdown. UFC 290 was fire. You guys make sure to subscribe to my damn YouTube channel. I'm out.